From the time of his hatching, he was different. A potentially brilliant scholar who dreaded the structured environment of school. He educated himself in the streets, taking whatever work was available, formulating his philosophy of self from what he had learned of the world about him. And then the cosmic axis shifted, and that world changed. Suddenly he was stranded in a universe he could not fathom. Without warning, he became a strange fowl in an even stranger land. Welcome to the one, and for some reason only, podcast about Marvel Comics' greatest talking duck, Howard the Duck, trapped in a world he never made. Hosted by myself, Noel, who's loved Howard since he was a kid.
And me, Russell, who's not new to comics, but is new to Howard. We go through a couple issues from Howard's Marvel comic book history with some creator backgrounds, storied histories, and the weird world of 1970s comic books to today's. Get ducked up in a world he never made.
Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast.
Wow!
Proud members of the collective.
Get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn. Check out the show notes for your promo code to get started podcasting today.
Hi, I'm Ann Nocenti, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Welcome back, Loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 312, and you are with both of your high priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, good to have you back. Good to
be back.
Yeah.
I feel settled. I feel a bit more settled in now.
Settled in the chair, hopefully.
Yeah, you'll miss the chair just like completely collapsing under me. So,
but yes, so we are back. Loonies, and look, this is going to be like a pretty informal one. That we're both, and I'm sure everyone is winding down to the end of the year, so we're keeping it loose. We're keeping it kind of, informal. And what we'll do for this episode, thought just chatting with you, Rebecca, doing kind of like an overview, like an end of year 2022. I mean, it's been a huge year for Moon Knight fans.
Really, like the biggest. I mean, definitely. I was going to say the biggest since you started the podcast, but like it's. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, it's like it's not even. Oh, we had a great run with Lemire and Smallwood when the podcast started. But like, no, there's no question about it. We've had TV, we've had multiple tie-ins, we've had lots and lots of. We've had an annual for the first time in forever.
In a long time.
Moon Knight's breaking into the main Marvel, and people on the street know who Moon Knight is.
Yeah.
I went to the theatre a couple of weeks ago, and someone was in a Moon Knight t-shirt. Almost
Crazy.
said hello.
And just a random. Okay.
I was in a Hawkeye t-shirt.
Cool.
Sorry, everyone.
Wow.
It's a very comfy t-shirt, but it was cool. It was. It's nice. It's like you're no longer like I mean, for whatever we've discussed this so many times, like the representation on TV versus representation in comics.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you're not talking about the same Moon Knight. But the fact is that, like, when you say now that you're a Moon Knight fan, people have some idea, like, what you're talking about. They may have this, and if we get a season 2, we get to see him in more films, whatever. I have a feeling we'll get more of that side, because now we've got Jake into the mix. We're going to get a bit more of that hyper-violence side of Moon Knight, and I think there's a lot to look forward to. I mean, I know you're doing predictions elsewhere, so we're just going to stick with the year's been, and
that's good. I mean,
maybe other comics.
Other comics. Look, I didn't want to limit it as well. I mean, definitely would love to get your predictions as well. But that was the idea, Loonies. For the final episode, we'll have a special Loony on Digicom.
Very looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it as well, and we're just gonna like predict and stuff. But as you said, Rebecca, I mean, looking back, I mean, let's roll with what you said first. The merchandise. I mean,
We've all become poorer this year.
Yeah, but I remember
Poorer and richer at the same time.
But I mean, I remember when looking on the likes of superhero stuff and all these T-Public and all that, Entertainment Earth, looking for Moon Knight T-shirts, and there was like none. You know, there was maybe the odd one. Now there's like a wave of them, and not only the official Marvel ones, but you know, you get
like you know, I've got an unofficial one that I love, and yeah, just everything's coming up Moon Knight.
It's fantastic. So
I have a friend who's planning a tattoo for me. So
oh, really nice. And Moon Knight, I think, is very it's very very appropriate for tattoos. You know, Moon Knight and Khonshu and you know.
There's some really. I mean, I have to say we're probably going with Gus the Fish, the one fin fish.
Okay, you're cool. Yeah.
Because it's somebody I know who I introduced to Moon Knight just before the TV show.
Okay.
So she wants to get something very representative of that.
Yes.
And
so
and I'm Pisces as well, so that works for me having the fish.
Yes. And so with your friend as well, just interested, like you know, for those of you that of the people that you know who have been introduced to Moon Knight, regardless of hearing you speak about Moon Knight, but have been introduced through the TV show, have they ventured into the comics at all, or?
One particular friend I read the Lemire run with.
Yep.
Just in the run up to the TV show, and she had already fallen in love with him.
Okay.
Utterly. And then the TV show came, and big Oscar Isaac fan as well.
Yeah.
But she's also Hispanic, so Jake is her favorite.
Ah, okay.
And looking forward to seeing him again. But yeah, she's the next thing we're gonna do is read the Scarlet, Stained Glass Scarlet.
Oh.
Stories. So all of those in turn.
Yep.
And through that, I'm gonna get her introduced to some of the older stuff.
Okay. Oh, excellent. No.
Yeah, I mean, generally everyone's interested in Moon Knight. I mean, I don't know how many of them have gone and read it, but they've asked for recommendations. You know, also, I mean, the other side fact is the fan accounts on Twitter, like for better or for worse, debating representation.
Yep.
Both on the Jewish side and on the DID side, debating how the characterization was done, people hating it, people are okay with it. Like most of my comics friends hated the show, and then they keep apologizing to me, and they're like, no, I know you liked it, and it's like, no, I genuinely did, like, but I get totally why they didn't.
Absolutely, me too.
And so yeah, but like just seeing Moon Knight panels coming up all the time on Twitter and being shared, and people like, I mean, and we've always had Moon Knight Corps.
Yes.
Or we've had them for a long time, and we love them. Big up to Moon Knight Corps, and they've done I mean, for everyone laughing about how people have this misunderstanding because of it. I don't think so. I think most people get it as a joke.
Yeah.
Like, and also I have to say that they have been such champions of Moon Knight.
Oh, they have.
They've always been ready to say, you know, this is a joke.
Yes.
And these bits, this is a joke, but these are the real bits that you should look at. And it's a very nice kind of, and they've always been very kind to people coming, like, because sometimes you get some of the calls and they're a little bit edgy and hard. But I have to say we're very lucky that the whole Moon Knight community is, I think, generally very open and friendly to anyone with a genuine interest, or even not with a genuine interest. I mean, I've seen some fights on Twitter, but they've generally been on representation on the Jewish side.
I mean, not lingering on this subject too much as well, but I think with the boom of Moon Knight, you know, with the good comes a little bit of the bad, and unfortunately, you know, with the boom, and it's great that there are more and more people into it. I have, you know, in my travails online, looking at Moon Knight forums and fans and posts and stuff. I mean, like any fandom, there are those that really do take it to the extreme, which again, people are entitled to think what they think. So you know, it's interesting that when something does kind of come up and blow up, you kind of get both gamuts, so like both extremes of fandom. Because, like, truth be told, when Moon Knight was a very kind of when Moon Knight was like a vice, almost like a vice to, you know, a few years ago when it was really only known in the comics and basically before the TV show, I think realistically, that would have been part of the appeal for some people, that he seemed to be their own kind of vice, and the community was generally pretty well tempered, I think. But again, just realistically, as any group unfolds and expands, you'll get all facets of people.
Absolutely, but I would say from the experience of Iron Fist, Moon Knight has been a much more pleasant. Moon Knight in the MCU has been a much more pleasant experience.
Oh yeah, and Iron Fist have continually had digs into their ribs. And
also we've comics wise, we've absolutely suffered afterwards, whereas Moon Knight's kind of blossomed afterwards.
Well, that's a big thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And we are extremely lucky that Jed took Moon Knight.
Yes, I mean, it could have gone either way.
We've all read runs that we didn't love, and the fact that we've got a run written by somebody who came in with this, like, not quite, I mean, I guess relatively controversial of, like, let's not have any of the usual sidekicks and friend group, and let's just, let's not talk about DID till issue 14. That's if you told us 3 years ago somebody was going to do that run, we would have been like, okay, but he's just done it so well that it's really nice, and we're getting at least 20 issues, so hopefully plenty more.
I think it was I don't know, this was more than a year ago, so we're talking about before 2022, before when the series first started. And we read about that thing, and the first thing I remember was Jed MacKay saying, "Oh, look, I'm going to make sure that there are no thought bubbles or captions, because Moon Knight doesn't have any of that." And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting as well. And so Jed has had these bold ideas, but I believe, at least in my opinion, that he's backed them up with great storytelling and writing. And I think that's why people appreciate it.
Yeah, and also that he's done such deep dives for the villains and the villains, baddies, whatever, antagonists, that you get, that that you kind of got that comfort of he's read that, he knows the background of the character, and the way he ties in the callbacks, he knows the character in the same way as we do. And so that it feels like it's come from a place of respect, not a place of, I can't bother to do my homework, I'm going to do this run. Not mentioning any runs in particular.
I get the sense of that with some writers. Ed Brisson I really do like. His short-lived Ghost Rider at least showed...
I loved his Iron Fist run.
His Iron Fist was brilliant. Like, I thought with... Mike Perkins as artist. That was so cool.
And Mike's just gone on leaps and bounds in skills. So,
Oh, and we should mention, again, I mean, this is an overview, but our blossoming love for Alessandro Cappuccio.
Yeah, I mean, look, it came on pretty fast. It was it's over at the first 3 issues. But the first issue we were all a little bit like, well, not all. I'm going to say me and Ray were a little bit like, not sure. I'm not sure. It's a little bit like... it's not as defined as some artists, and certainly not what we were used to. But and it's all blossomed because of Rochelle's colouring. And like the way she's breathed life into the art to make us all appreciate it more, I think.
Well, Rochelle's
and just his storytelling's great, Alessandro. And
yes. And so what do you think of, like, for sticking to 2022, and I think it's kind of on that cusp as well. So we got more of Federico Sabatini in doing some art. He did he did the annual, he did Devil's Reign, Moon Knight, and he did a couple more Moon Knight issues. What are your thoughts on, we have like an alternative version to Cappuccio. I think he did pretty solid, like, for what he...
I grown to like him more. I didn't like it too much at first. I thought it was a little bit too... I'm not really good at defining art, so as you know, I thought it was a little bit manga in parts, like some of the faces especially. But as the issues have gone on, I've enjoyed it more.
Okay, I mean, me too as well.
And now I'm like, if we're gonna have a stand-in, it's nice to keep the same stand-in.
Yeah, me too.
And now I like it. So but I was a little bit concerned at first that I might not love it. So.
And I'm just tracking back in my mind. I'm going back, basically, I'm trying to think from issue 7 onwards. I think that was roughly like 1 year ago, right?
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, So from the Moon Knight issues there, we got one of the big things around 7 was Tigra. I mean, coming in, that was
Love her.
Yeah, she came in, I think, issue 4, but I think she
quite
got
early,
more.
but like
She got more
we
of
didn't
a
know she was
role.
going to stick around necessarily.
Yeah. So that was good. You know, stuff like Soldier turning into a vampire. That was a big thing. But yeah, so I thought. I mean, I think the comic book has been. We've been so blessed with the comic books, not only Jed MacKay's, which has kind of been the core throughout the year, but we've had other ones as well. Of course, again, with the boom, it seemed like a flood, Rebecca, after the TV show. It was just Moon Knight in comics. So
yeah, I mean, like, you know, like if we weren't going to be absolutely rammed with merchandise, we were going to be spending our fortune on the comics.
Yeah.
So yeah. Plus, it meant we got things like the Ellis run as a new trade. We got access to one. Yeah. So things that hadn't, full run. We got things that hadn't been out before. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But just even him showing up in stupid things like that silly pig one or whatever it's called. I mean, like, just Moon Knight became. Or what's it called? Damage Control.
Control.
It was a stupid addition and like whatever. But I guess people always do joke about Moon Knight.
We got.
But it's nice to see him kind of cemented in there as that kind of characters people know.
We got a variety, I guess, of appearances, I guess, and we get significant ones. You could argue, like in Strange, Jed MacKay's other one, run that he's running, but you can get the other way. There was some disappointing ones. Like, I mean, I didn't mind the Damage Control one that much, Rebecca. I mean, it was fun. It was.
I didn't mind it. I think having him on the cover was.
Yes.
That was the issue, wasn't it? Not the appearance of Moon Knight in it. Yeah. The fact that we all thought he might be in the run because he was on that first cover.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a Marvel thing for sales.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I think I guess we're all going in that a little bit more savy.
Well, I was going to mention the Ghost Rider, which was another big cameo. Ghost Rider 5, where he's on the motorbike, and was, for me, actually, I will have to say, unfortunately, it's probably one of the worst issues I've read this year. It was a Benjamin Percy. I'm going to even say it, Rebecca. I don't know if you know. Have you read it? Have you read it by any chance?
The Ghost Rider one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know? Because I heard of someone else who heard it off Weird, like I think it's called Weird Science. They do reviews.
Right.
It is pure, like Benjamin Percy plagiarized his own work from years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that story in Ghost Rider, there are some like recreations of exact panels and kind of stories that Nightwing had a story years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that kind of disappointed me even further. I mean, I'd been loving Benjamin Percy's run of Ghost Rider as a casual Ghost Rider fan, but I didn't really like that issue because, number one, it kind of pissed me off that Moon Knight was so incidental in it, but number two, that it was like a plagiarized version of his older material, and I thought,
I mean, I've seen people do it before, or I know there's a lot of speculation of whether certain writers have done it for runs that they pitched that then didn't get made. I mean, isn't that one of the it's one of the Bendis theories, isn't it? That his Moon Knight run was meant for Daredevil.
Yeah. But it's not like it was It's not like it was published.
But that's not a pitch. That's an actual. Yeah. Right. That's the next level. So.
Yeah.
I guess what you know. Again.
And I guess you're plagiarizing yourself. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not plagiarism. It's just reusing it, but reusing it on a bigger level than you would expect.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just as an aside, but I just remember that issue. That Moon Knight, it's like it had Hawkeye, Black Widow on the front cover, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight. It's like, yeah, and it was the most awful story. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it, but it was a very terrible, awful story. What other? I mean, we got Crypt of Shadows, which you missed.
But you
were there. You were there. You did that.
Yeah, that's the one we came back for.
Yeah, that was not significant as well. But again, he was on the front cover, but.
Yeah, but I don't mind so much for the anthology ones because he was in the book.
Yeah.
And they always go with random covers. Like there's one,
true.
another of the Halloween ones got Cap as Frankenstein and
okay.
Tony as Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So like, I don't mind them riffing a bit for, you know, any of those little anthologies.
Okay. Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I quite enjoyed Crypt of Shadows, actually.
I thought it was decent. For what I mean, the anthologies are always a mixed bag because you've always got a mix of what's in them. But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I just kind of regretted not reading it around Halloween because I think you and I read it really late.
When I got back. Yeah. But it wasn't very Halloween-y for us.
Yeah, exactly. But it kind of got me in the mood for Halloween, so that was good. Tracking back, though, Rebecca, I mean, obviously let's talk a bit about Black, White, and Blood, which was a huge thing.
So that was a big undertaking because we got to see a ton of very high profile creators come in and it was a real mixed bag again, like you would expect. But I think looking back on it now, it feels pleasantly experimental.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, you know, everyone write a bit of Moon Knight.
Yep.
And you know, why shouldn't they do things that do or don't work? You know, like, why do things that don't work?
Yeah.
Because you're not ruining a run.
Yes, that's where
you're not losing a run because you lose sales. So
exactly, that's where you can take the risks. And I agree. In hindsight, like as we were covering it issue by issue, and as well, for listeners that haven't caught it, Rebecca and I had the absolute pleasure to chat with some people as well. So we had the likes of Marua Adele and Doten, his friends. They're awesome creators.
I mean, what an entry! I mean, that was their entry into Marvel as well. So you get like Hickman, who's kind of on his way, not on his way out, but he's not got that many more projects, I believe, signed for Marvel.
Okay, right.
I believe. So I'm not, when I say that, that's my understanding. Okay. I would happily have Hickman for a long time, but I think he said before he's got one more big project, and then so really established writers like that, medium establishment writers. And then a sort of total entry into Marvel, and now they're writing Iron Man,
which is fantastic. And they gave us, just want to brag, they gave us a bit of a scoop before it was even released, so we can say it now.
I don't even know if that bit's in the interview. Like, I don't know how much you edited it, but there was a funny moment in the interview where we had to break because one of them lost net.
Yes.
And we ended up talking about, like, I was wearing an Iron Man t-shirt. Yeah. We ended up talking about just random things. I think I stood up and we were laughing about my Iron Man t-shirt. And then they gave us a little bit of a hint.
They did, then I was actually just after that, just waiting, for the announcement.
Both can just go, come on.
But Iron Man's had a good. I mean, Christopher Cantwell. Did you like that one, the Cantwell run?
Did I not say that we should not?
Okay,
discuss
of course.
That?
Okay.
I liked bits of it.
Okay. No,
I'm a massive Cantwell fan from TV.
Yes.
But I had some big issues with bits of the run, but I liked having the run, and I very much hope Moon Knight gets to 25 issues as well, because I think it's a better run.
Fingers crossed.
And
I hope so.
I didn't hate it, but I hated bits of it.
Okay.
So, but I also like bits of it.
Yeah. So. No, like many.
It's fair enough. It was a kind of so-so for me.
Yeah. Many of the series are, that you do follow. We can't not say as well. We also managed to speak to the likes of Erica Schultz, fantastic. And Ann Nocenti, which was, my gosh, what an absolute honor, but what a headache to try and get it. Not on Anne's behalf at all. No, totally. She was absolutely willing and
she wanted to do it on Skype, right? Was that the one we did on Skype? She wanted her phone number.
Yeah, she wanted to do it over the phone. So I thought, okay, well, I did that with Doug Mensch like years ago, and I just called his landline. So I called her phone, but for some reason Skype would not connect them.
Yeah, we had real huge connection problems.
Huge issues.
When she got through, it was really good.
It was very good, and she was Ann Nocenti was so patient, and Rebecca ended up recording on your end, which was great. But yeah, she was good, and I felt really bad because we were on a really short time frame. I think because we started so late because of faffing around with the technology.
Yeah.
But she took everything in her stride, and I think we had a really great chat. She's an absolute legend.
That was a real honor, honestly.
Me too. It was like a
well, I'm
really
guessing
big...
for you for Doug Mensch and stuff.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
Doug, same. It's on par, I think. With Anne Senti. She's just remarkable. We can't obviously gloss over our talks with Jed McKay as well. I mean,
no, and hopefully after Christmas sometime.
Yeah,
I think he said after 18. Every 6 issues we get to speak to him.
Yes, and I think. Are we up to 18, aren't we? And I think so, that drops late December. So Loonies, unfortunately, we won't review it
between Christmas and New Year. So I have no idea when unless we both get it digitally. But I mean, we're hoping to have a bit of a break, but we'll see. Definitely. So the idea is we'll review that before, obviously, as you say, Rebecca, getting Jed back on. And didn't want to take anything away from his talks because it is phenomenally generous of him to say that he's happy to come back and have a chat with us, but in other respects as well, it's kind of like just asking a friend to come over too, which is I think it's really nice.
It's an honor as well,
It does feel nice, like just having him back. Like, how you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, and
having this, and that's why it's always a relief when the run's good.
Yes. True. Well, exactly. It would be slightly different or slightly awkward if the run was not to our taste, but I mean, largely I think he's been doing phenomenally well, and that shows in like what he's up to 18. We know it's up to at least 20. That has surpassed Lemire's run. That surpassed Max Bemis's run. That has surpassed Ellis's and Ellis's, Buns and Wood's run all up. So it's the longest running run. For a while.
Times.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's hoping it goes, beyond.
I mean, we know we're getting it till 20 at least, right? So,
it's got to.
And I'm guessing the April solicits should be soon.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, he's a busy bee, Mr.
Oh no, March, I guess.
March is it?
I don't know. Have we had the March ones? We've had the March.
I can't
ones.
remember. I dip in and out.
I've just ordered I Am Iron Man, and that's March. So I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe.
Who knows?
But
I'm not good on when solicits come out.
But Jed is busy, and I'm mindful that I know he's doing Strange, but they've announced Doctor Strange, which will, I guess, continue on.
Yeah, he's taking over the Doctor Strange run.
Strange run. He's doing. I've just blanked.
Is he still doing his Magic: The Gathering?
Yes, he might still be doing Magic: The Gathering. He's doing Mary Jane and Black Cat again, which was phenomenally enjoyable. I thought the one shot. I think this one might be
really good,
mini or a regular now. He was doing Iron Cat. I followed that and Black Cat as well.
Oh, I enjoyed that a lot.
So much fun. Yeah. I mean,
and really good. Knowledge of Iron Man as well.
Yeah, actually, I've never.
Obviously, he's coming into it from the Black Cat. He's already done his research for that. But yeah, I thought that one stood up very well on that side as well.
Because I always wanted to ask you actually because you're right. I mean, Jed's handling Iron Man, and how does that?
I have something random I want to ask you, Ray.
Yeah, sure.
How did it feel to see your girl in the trailer yesterday, the Spider-Verse trailer?
Oh, I actually, it's funny because I saw posts. I only just saw the trailer like half an hour ago because I thought, I might as well see it. Awesome. I've only seen it.
We're talking Spider-Woman.
For those. Yeah.
Raid is a Spider-Woman podcast.
A little plug, to know who's if you heard the Spider-Woman podcast. But so I haven't actually watched it with the sound up yet, Rebecca. But I saw her on the motorbike. She looks kick-ass. I saw her like do the shoulder turn into the camera. I'm very excited. I share sentiments with my co-host Saren as well. There are only small quibbles at the fact that she seems to have webbing and no web blast, which she had way before Miles Morales. We're just saying. So that small kind of quibble, but it was way more excitement than
I thought she looked great. I think she looks really good.
Suit looks awesome. So I think
I think Miguel looks very chunky.
Miguel,
he looks very big, doesn't he? Nice to have Oscar Isaac's voice in there, but
He does.
Big and chunky.
I saw here. Yeah, that's right. He's scaling the train or something, and Miguel O'Hara. I remember. Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. I
can't wait for it. I mean, like, what an experience the first one was.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And then having to live up to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
I mean, look, I'm probably sharing the sentiments of a lot of people as well. In that, I'm looking forward to it probably more so than some of the other films coming out.
Yeah, I mean, same.
And I wasn't.
I mean,
in first watch of Into the Spider-Verse, I'll tell you, I watched it and I enjoyed it, but hearing everyone say how phenomenal it was, I was going, yeah, it's good, but it's like. And then I watched it.
I think a lot of that was based on the animation styles as well as the.
Yeah. Okay. But then I watched it again just on streaming. Because I was considering, should I get the Blu-ray of it just for the collection? I'll give it a watch again, and I absolutely loved it. It's like this is.
I mean, you have
awesome.
to get it. You've got a kid.
I will.
Like,
I will. Oh no, I will.
I mean, it is.
There's no.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's so I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's the MCU film-wise and stuff is in a bit of a weird place, isn't it? We've done this as kind of transition phase 4 that's either been successful or not, depending, but it's been very up and down.
Yeah.
To me. So it's interesting with what comes next, and if they keep the same sort of output, and there's now these rumors that they're going to rejig it. So we'll get more of the hour-long specials, less of the series, or that they're going to focus more on quality.
Well, I hope
whatever that means. This is all based on like trade rumors, isn't it? It's not like we don't know.
Okay. We'll no longer just worry on quantity. We'll actually produce quality.
I mean, I think also we have to remember that a lot of the Phase 4 stuff was done during COVID.
Yeah.
Which had massive implications to Falcon the Winter Soldier and what came after that one?
Loki? No, that can't.
Yeah. But I think it really hit Falcon the Winter Soldier hard because they apparently had a whole storyline about a virus.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and they dropped episodes and stuff like that. Like they had to rejig a lot. So I mean, like I think Phase 4 with the pandemic also had issues, and obviously like things like Black Widow having to be delayed and it impacted everything.
That was unfortunate. I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag, and my barometer, I guess, and in no way like I'm still keen, but like my barometer is how quickly I go and see these movies. And I remember Love and Thunder I saw just before it was pulled off the cinemas. Like maybe it's life, maybe I just hadn't found time. But previously, like with
as somebody older, it is a lot of it is just life.
Yeah.
But you also make time for things if you're excited for them. There's some things I would still go out and be tired for.
Yeah,
and there's other things that I'm like, it just has to wait until I can fit it in with work now.
Yeah.
And the MCU is getting more and more shifted to that. I don't really need to see it
that
quickly.
That's exactly my thought as well. I mean, even up to the Eternals, I was like going straight to the cinema and watching it. That's not that long ago, but it was only just recently. I think it was. I mean, I don't know why, because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness I should have been really excited for. I really was. Again, it might be life, and then Love and Thunder. Now Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Rebecca, I still haven't seen it. I want to go see it.
I know, and you should.
I will.
But it will be. I mean, it'll be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I think there's part of that as well as it goes on Disney Plus so much faster now.
Yep.
Again, pandemic.
Yeah.
Thank you or not thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
they're all things that make a difference. So.
Yeah, and I put it also as well. I mean, you were mentioning for a different reason Falcon and Winter Soldier and the TV shows. Maybe that's that change of format, because I do find I have been very excited for the TV shows, like for the stream on Disney.
I've been excited for most of them, but again, some of it's depended on when they're coming out and how busy I am.
Yeah.
Like I was very lucky I could clear my mornings for Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm. Moon Knight was such a special experience. It was just like,
it was
regardless of the overall, like how you enjoyed it and critique of the TV show, just the fact that we were able to see the early early versions of the first, what was it, 4 episodes.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was
cool.
Such
an experience.
And then we get to kind of like break it down each week.
It was so bad. Like the quality was so bad.
Oh yeah, let the Loonies know. Actually, I don't know if we did mention it, but it was the internet quality or whatever. We got it. So Rebecca and Noel, we all watched it together, but it was a massive lag in sound and image. But we persevered and we watched it because we were that
we had
desperate.
A lot of stuttering, a lot of
that desperate to kind of watch it, and we did see the unfinished version of episode 4, and the largest thing I could recall, Rebecca, was the beetle at the beginning.
Yeah, the white beetle.
That was it. I can't remember anything else being
I just remember we screaming. I remember us screaming a lot. And stuff like that at the end of the asylum. And
the asylum.
Then not being able to tell anyone.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god, that was so.
Was that episode 4? Was that episode 4? I don't know. I have a feeling.
It led into it.
Asylum? I think we did. I think we
did.
Got the clip right.
We got,
we got the
Tawaret.
Yes. Oh yeah, up to the high.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That was really good.
And that was a very nice experience for us. And however funny it was. And we should talk about Werewolf by Night as well.
Yeah.
Since I just mentioned that they're thinking of apparently one of these rejiggings will be having more of those.
Mm-hmm.
And they are such a good way of introducing a character without getting people too tired.
They're just like
having to deal with. I mean, it's a perfect introduction, whether, because the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is another nice way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They also don't have to tie the actors in for much. So if they wanted to bridge Moon Knight into films, like having a reason for him to team up with someone.
It's like a mini movie, really. It's like 1 hour movie. Or 40-minute movie.
Everyone can fit an hour in somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the biggest rumor is that they might move Nova to that format. Which, again, I mean, I love Nova. It would be a little bit of a shame for me not to get a full TV series.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do like they did with Werewolf by Night, and then we get to see him in other things, I'm totally cool with that, especially as we know this is the last Guardians film.
Yes.
So if they're going to stay cosmic, you want people like Nova around. Really.
What did you think of the trailer for the Guardians? That came out shortly after we did the Guardians special, right? I think that came out
after. What did I think of the trailer for Guardians? Did I watch it?
Did you know? We saw Adam Warlock. Oh, anyway.
I saw the picture. I saw the still. He looked dumb. He looked dumb.
Well, he's gold. Yeah.
I love the actor. He's always going to look a little bit dumb. I didn't watch the trailer because I want to go see it.
Yep.
I didn't love Guardians 2.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love the Christmas special. Yeah. So I that's one I'm a little bit. I'm not weary of, but I'm a little bit worried that I won't love it.
I'll tell you that, because we shared our and you too. If you're a Patreon member, you could hear Rebecca and I's fantastic views on the Guardian of the Galaxy Christmas holiday special. I was wary too, Rebecca, but I've got to say that it has, to some extent, reinvigorated my interest in Guardians. Watching the trailer, it's like cool.
I definitely,
yeah.
Okay, maybe I should. I think it came out in the middle of the night for me, and I may have watched bits of it without sound, and then forgot to go back and actually watch it. Yeah. So I will.
Okay. All I'm saying is that as long as James Gunn doesn't rehash Guardians 1 or 2. use the same jokes in Guardians 3. I did
watch it. I watched it and it had sad-looking Rocket, baby Rocket.
Oh yes,
I remember that.
Rocket, and it looks like Rocket might die in it. That's what I'm.
Yeah. So I don't know if I should admit to what I said about that to someone. I was like, let him have them all die. I don't know. I feel okay. So. That digs at a slightly deeper thing, a problem that I've had with Phase 4 generally, is the end game felt like such an end point that I'm finding tonal whiplash from having any of the older Avengers in the new stuff. Because I will see Thor and I'll just miss Cap and Iron Man. And I'll see Guardians and I'll just, again, miss the ones we're not going to get back. And
you'll see Hulk and you'll see Scar.
Scar was awful. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I never want to see Scar again. And I will say I like Scar. I don't like Scar.
Yeah.
I like the concept of
Yeah,
Scar, and I
yeah.
like that storyline, but it's not like one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed She-Hulk as well. I enjoyed Hawkeye.
I enjoyed it.
I,
Me too.
Ms. Marvel was great.
Yep.
But there's a level of I'm still feeling that kind of nostalgia for Infinity War Endgame.
Yeah.
And we can see that Young Avengers is being built up to. I love Young Avengers, but do I want to see them mix with Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, So when I said it for Guardians, it was Ant-Man I said it about. I was like, literally, just kill them all. I don't care. Just leave Cassie and we're fine. And it's not because I don't like the characters or the way they're being played. I just find it almost too weird to have any link to that past.
Yeah, I think, look,
it just makes me a little bit sad, and that might be because they're two of my favorite characters. I think RDJ and Chris Evans. I like the actors. So
I think
it's a little bit weird, and I think Phase 4 has suffered from that, and it's not just me feeling that. It's just we can't always put our pin on a finger on why. So Phase 4's always, but then on the TV side, it's been a lot more experimental with things like Loki and Moon Knight, and She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. They're all very tonally different. And introducing us to characters that haven't been, and I want to see them in the MCU. I just don't necessarily want to see them either trying to take the part of characters we're used to, and Sam Cap is not part of that. I obviously want to see him as Captain America, but I am less interested in Captain America, and it's not because of Sam.
No, totally understand.
Because I'll never see Captain America with Iron Man again.
Totally understand.
And I don't care who's playing Captain America. I don't really care who's playing Iron Man. We might get Rhodey Iron Man in Armor Wars. Very excited about that becoming a film. So.
Interesting, because that went the other way, didn't it? That went from TV show to film. So that appetite to have the hour-long specials or to go the TV route, it's gone the other way. So that's interesting. I think it's just testament, Rebecca, to the way that Endgame and all those phases before it kind of culminated, and so testament to to that era of the MCU. They can't take that away from us. But I totally agree with you. There is that kind of, we are definitely moving into new territory, and it's right on the nose, I think, with the likes of Hawkeye, the likes of Hulk, where it's the passing of the torch. You can see it, like it's and Black Widow as well. It's very obvious that it's kind of like, okay, our time is done. I'm thinking of Jeremy Renner in Hawkeye, and
the fact is, it's no insult to any of the actors, or it's just like they are all also getting older. And they are also, I mean, I always knew it was going to happen. Like when people start talking about, will RDJ come back? It's like, not only are they getting older, but they are getting more expensive. And Disney is primarily a company. And why would they want to pay RDJ like what 20-30 million for a film again? Like it's that's going to be a massive cut. Like get new young blood in, but tell compelling stories with it. And I think their problem is that they need to link to that past because they want to pull that audience along with them, and they're not quite confident enough. I mean, and let's talk about that with Moon Knight as one of the only ones that had no other ties, like no ties at all, like to the rest of the MCU, like So I think was a ballsy step.
And I think a lot of people found interest in him because he seemed so that series was so self-contained. Like some of the comments I saw was just like, this was apart from that mention of Wakanda, I think, from memory. There was a
couple of mentions, wasn't there?
There was
I think there might have been a Rogers the Musical poster, or there was something like there was a couple of very incidental, but they were very small and very unnecessary. Like as in they didn't take anything from Moon, like they didn't jolt you out of Moon Knight.
I think that was part of the appeal, but also in hindsight, it's kind of like, well, for them doing that, there is a nice kind of way that they don't have to. Like, he's not tied in it at all, so he can actually just, as Oscar Isaac had mentioned, there were no further negotiations, so they can just cut the cord on Moon Knight in that sense, and that's done.
Which is, it's amazing. I mean, so this is what I mean about it feeling experimental.
Yeah.
And in a sense it was. Maybe not as experimental as it could have been.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm looking forward to next, how when we move to the sort of, when it starts feeling like the new people are our MCU.
I mean, because there are. I mean, look, if we're looking at pure indulgence here, Rebecca, there are a couple of our favorites coming up. Hercules was shown in Love and Thunder.
Yeah, let's face it.
Dane Whitman. He's been. But the thing is, though, that with the Eternals and that kind of band, with Dane in there as well, nothing's happened since then, and I feel it's lost a bit of momentum.
And Blade's gone back to the drawing board,
Yeah.
but like we will get Blade.
But so I feel it's lost a bit of steam in that regards.
It does feel like it probably has, yeah.
But I hope not, because I want to see the Ebony Blade. I want to see Herc, potentially Amadeus Cho as well. I would love to see that too.
I would love to see Herc. And I mean, I know Ray knows I've been buying up those issues.
Yeah.
Not for any particular reason, except I love those. I loved that run when I first read it, and
it's a very cool.
So
run.
just kind of starting to get that sort of
Yeah. So I mean, there are, but I mean, admittedly as well, they aren't as they're not like Cap, Iron Man, Thor, or Hulk. We are dipping into more obscure characters as well, and I think that's probably what is making them nervous as well to make that transition across.
And they need to get the stories. You don't have that embedded. I know something about this character. You've got to decide whether you're gonna like how much of an origin you're gonna give them.
Yeah. I mean, the aces,
all that kind of stuff.
The aces up their sleeve is the anticipation for Fantastic Four and the X-Men. I mean, that is.
But apparently they can't do those for so long.
Really?
X-Men.
Apparently
the X-Men they can't do for a while. I don't know if it's true or not. This is all such speculation.
Yeah.
But so I was talking to somebody about what revelations we might get at Comic-Con next year.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm going. Should I say that again? I'm going to Comic-Con next year. It still feels extremely unreal.
That's so cool.
And they were saying that if we did not already know the cast of Fantastic Four by then, they would be very surprised. Or that would be the announcement. So like we're talking about, because we've got next year covered, right? We've got we know what's happening in the next couple of years. Actually.
Yep. That was all announced.
D23 and stuff.
Daredevil Reborn. I can't wait.
Comic-Con.
Born Again. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Daredevil Born Again. It's gonna be amazing.
Anyway.
I'm looking forward to Secret Invasion. That's probably
me too. Me too.
Yep, I think because
Olivia Colman's role was revealed. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Armor Wars, but not in the same degree. I want to know what they do, but it's weird to me to do Armor Wars without Tony. But it's a great sort of. Hopefully, after that, they really don't have to dive into Tony too much anymore. And it sounds like a horrible thing to say, but like how many times we joke about how many times he's mentioned, and either as something that's made someone a villain, or in Phase 4 more as an inspiration, which has been nice. But so it's just when we cut that tie with the old school, or if we keep sort of segueing across.
I was going to ask you a question. This Kevin Feige said a while ago, and again, this might be something that he's decided to just discard, but he mentioned ages ago that the likes of Iron Man and Captain America would be like James Bond, where you would eventually get recasting.
I think the prevailing theory is we get to Secret Wars, which is when 2025. We get to Secret Wars, and after that you reboot.
Okay, so we get Tom Cruise as Tony Stark in an alternate reality.
Hopefully we get somebody who's in their 30s.
Exactly.
Iron Man. As Tony Stark Iron Man, or you get Rhodey Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or I don't think they're going to switch to Ironheart as the main Iron Man, but I did like seeing her in Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
It's just a different character. Like I think she worked well with Young Avengers and stuff. That sounds like me being an old timer going, no, not my Iron Man. But I like her. If she is, she is. You know, like I'm fine with that. But I think that Secret Wars is where everyone's thinking, oh no, they'll just reboot them, because you need at some point to be able to reset it with younger actors. And for all anyone says, oh, you know, Chris Evans will pop up in this, that, and the other, it's like he's what, like in his early 40s now. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But like, you know, 10 years down the line, it's not going to be as fine.
Yeah, I don't know what to feel about the Young Avengers. I mean, I know they're pretty cool as well. I haven't admittedly followed much of their stuff, but I can just sense that, you know, they'd have to have like a really good story to tell for the Young Avengers, and I don't know if that's the way forward or if that's just a one-off kind of thing, you know what I mean, Rebecca? Whether they do have Avengers eventually, but it's just, you know, a different roster, you know, say Black Knight and, you know, Herc and Cersei.
I mean, look, I'm hoping we get like Secret Avengers, West Coast Avengers, whatever they call it. Yeah. Whatever they call it. I mean, whether they call, you know, we know it's going to be Thunderbolts, not Dark Avengers now.
Thunderbolts.
Not really looking forward to that.
Well, the lineup is not what I was expecting, but anyway. Yeah.
I love a lot of them, but I think Wakanda Forever's complicated my feelings about Thunderbolts as well.
Okay.
But you've not seen it,
I
so
have
I
not
don't
seen it,
necessarily want to ruin why.
Okay.
But once you've seen it, we will talk about why I think it's affected how I feel about Thunderbolts.
Okay.
But then somebody suggested a theory the other day that's kind of got me back on track.
Okay.
So
to what, kind of keen on Thunderbolts again, or interested at least? Okay.
Yeah. I think there's interesting stories they could tell with it, even with that particular lineup as well.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen much of Elaine as well. I call her Elaine. The count.
Yeah. I can't say anything about that.
Okay.
Ray.
Okay.
That might be the precise thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
Spoilers for Black Panther.
Oh wow! I still don't know what. I mean, I know it's got something to do with that now.
You still don't know, but you will get to see her in Black Panther.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I mean, so obviously we've gone on a little bit of a tangent here, but it's just interesting how Mooney kind of fits in it all as well. Yeah, so I mean the TV show was fantastic. What else? The annual was also out as well.
Yeah, nice to have an annual, right?
Again, written by Jed. So again, very solid. I thought it was enjoyable. Had you gone back and read it, Rebecca? Or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had. Yeah.
I'm caught up now. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Ready for 18.
Yes. Oh gosh, I tell you, I spent some long evenings catching up on my pile. Like it was getting.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So I just like sat on the couch and just like read like a whole pile.
Although I went to a signing on Saturday.
Oh.
For something, and I had to go and find the stuff I wanted to get signed that wasn't the book we were buying.
Yeah.
And so I just go through all the comics that I haven't put away. And every single one of this guy's comics was in there.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, that's actually really embarrassing, but I didn't have to open any boxes. So it's very good.
Oh, gosh.
Got a few hints and tips about what's coming up for certain characters.
Oh, lovely.
Well, can't say anything about that. So,
yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, is there anything else, Rebecca, we may have missed this year? I mean, I'm casting my mind back.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I was going to look through the podcast episodes that we did, but my phone's about to run out, so...
Oh, yeah, that's a good plan. And it's a good time for me to go sort out lunch as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Well...
But no. Yeah, so good. I think that's everything.
I think that was good. A very eventful...
More in 2023, yeah.
Yeah, 2023. Very eventful. 2022. Looking forward to 2023. What comes ahead. Hopefully we have more Moon Knight in comics. And hopefully more on screen and merchandise, Rebecca. Merchandise. There was another little... was it like a little diorama or something... that I was thinking of getting, not too expensive. It's one of him hunching.
Oh.
It's the TV Moon Knight just hunched on a.
Oh right,
on a
nice.
ledge.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I may have missed that.
We'll go for that, but there's plenty of merchandise there. Loonies also as well. There was a reissue of the Marvel Legends, like the Declan Shalvey costume Moon Knight that has close to is pre-order or it's been released.
Oh yeah, that's the one we're assuming Jake's gonna have if there's another TV show, right?
We're assuming what? Sorry.
That Jake will have the Declan outfit.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping so. But anyway, Loonies, that will be it from us. Thank you so much. Of course, would be remiss to not mention a huge thank you to all our patroonies who are also getting a video of this feed as well. Not a live feed, just a recording feed. But a huge thank you to one and all. You've been fantastic. I've got a little announcement. I'll leave it for the next episode for them. So stay tuned for that episode. But a huge thank you for all your help and contribution. Things have wound down towards the end of the year, but that's kind of how it is towards the end of the year. But we'll be back fresh and ready to go with more stuff. We've only got one more episode to go. So next phase, that's 313. We'll be joined by Mario Digicom. We're going to go through some predictions of what we think will come next year.
I can't wait to hear you both talk about that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, we can go crazy. We can be realistic. I don't know. But
yeah, go do both.
Yes. Before we go, of course, I might as well put it on the feed because I keep on forgetting. A huge thank you, once again to our
yes, thank you,
patroonies as listed there on the screen, and you can contact us on feedback@itkmoonlight.com. We've got the website as well, itkmoonlight.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Got to get out on the other ones, Rebecca. Maybe Hive.
Maybe it's down at the moment, but maybe
is it? Oh,
yeah.
Poor buggers. Anyway, they're doing well. Also on YouTube, just check us out all over there as well. Come join us for next episode too. Finally, we are part of the collective as well. This is all off the cuff. I've got no prompt sheet, hence the slightly scatterbrained nature of this outro. Part of the collective as well. Rebecca, how are you guys doing? You and Alan, DCAU?
We're chugging along. We've just done our last one before Christmas.
Lovely.
Lovely. Our first Aquaman film, Lego DC, Lego superheroes, Aquaman, something, Rage of Atlantis.
Okay. Fantastic.
So that was pretty cool, and I'm going through Deadly Hands of Kung Fu with Connor. On Immortal Iron Fist, Sons of the Dragon, but we've not done one recently, so.
Okay. But you can
How about you? How you doing?
I've got an episode of, we've already recorded it with Sarah, and a final episode of the year for To Know Her Is to Fear Her, the Spider-Woman podcast. We will go through, I believe it's Spider-Woman issue 2, I think. From the 1978 run, so that was a lot of fun, and there will be one final episode of a Predator and Prey, a Yaucha podcast, where Russell and Justin and myself will go through the last issue of this year for the penultimate issue of Predator, Ed Brisson's
Nice.
Predator. I didn't realise it was a mini. I was very disappointed.
I didn't know it was a mini. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so only one more issue of that, plus the final 3 chapters of the anthology Eyes of the Demon. I reread 2 of them today, Rebecca, and oh my god, they're so much fun. Anyway, so I'll put them in the show notes of Rebecca's DCAU podcast, as well as Sons of the Dragon, and also of the other ones that I'll be on. Also, a shout out, I should say, recently I did do, again, a Scarlet Spider with Phil and Dave from Capes and Lunatics, just following Ben's journey.
Love him.
He's great. What do you think of Chasm?
I've not been reading it.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you haven't. Yeah, good, because he's not good at all.
I've heard bad things.
Yes, he's not.
And somebody actually just said, like, at least they're not doing what they did to Ben. So, okay.
There you go. Exactly. We want Ben back. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, thank you so much, listeners. Rebecca, as always, thank you. And
happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Have a happy Christmas party as well, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Don't get up to anything I wouldn't do, you know what I'm saying. As always, Loony listeners, thank you, and may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Okay, bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.